nice to be back.
Do you have a monitor I could look at just for a second? Because these interviews are turning out to be very big. You know, your last. Can you lift it? Can you lift it so I can see it? Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, let me just see. Oh, that's good. That's better.
Good, right?
That's better than I actually look. Ooh, they're good. That's better than I look.
I got my special Trump lighting.
I like that. Usually it's worse though. That's better than I look. Okay, good.
What? Oh, medic. Oh, go ahead. Take that. That's more important than all of this. Go ahead. A medic. Hopefully they're okay. Are they okay? They're okay? Oh, she just fainted. She's, you know what? That means she was excited. That's okay. Make sure she's good. Those are my best fans. The ones that faint, I love the most. That's fine. Okay, everything good over there? Okay, take your time. Take your time.
Lenders to your company lost over $1 billion and more than 1,100 people.
First of all, these lenders aren't babies. These are total killers. These are not the nice, sweet little people that you think, okay? You know, I mean, you're living in a world of the make-believe, Chris. You want to know the truth.
Here, and why don't you apologize for her?
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong, but I do hear she's a lovely woman.
Absolutely. So that's just so you understand. You know what that is? That's Jeb's special interest in lobbyists talking. We've spent, I only tell the truth, lobbyists. We've spent $5 trillion all over the middle. We have to rebuild our country. We have to rebuild our infrastructure. You listen to that, you're going to be there for another 15 years.
All right, Governor Bush.
They lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I looked up and I saw my mom. My mom is the strongest woman I know.
She should
This
be
is
running.
not about.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't get nervous. Go ahead.
He was a failed candidate. He should have beaten President Obama very easy. He failed miserably, and it was an embarrassment to everybody, including the Republican Party.
We need toughness. Honestly, I think Jeb is a very nice person. He's a very nice person, but we need tough people. We need toughness. We need intelligence, and we need tough. Am I allowed to finish?
Go ahead, Mr. Trump.
So,
again,
I know you're trying to build up your energy, Jeb, but it's not working
one at a time.
Look. You don't have one Republican senator, and you work with them every day of your life, although you skipped a lot of time. These are minor details. But you don't have one Republican senator backing you, not one. You don't have the endorsement of one Republican senator, and you work with these people.
Senator Cruz.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Here's a man, Robin Hood. This is Robin Hood over here. He talks about corruption on his financial disclosure form. He didn't even put that he's borrowed money from Citibank and from Goldman Sachs, which is a total violation. He didn't talk about the fact that he pays almost no interest. He just left it off, and now he's going to protect the people from the big bad banks.
We're going to move.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
Why do you keep attacking Megyn Kelly of Fox?
Because every night on her show, she does negative hits on me. Every single night. And frankly, if she didn't, her ratings would drop down far lower than yours.
Snoop Dogg. $505 billion. And by the way, I don't like this mic. Whoever the hell bought this mic system, don't pay the son of a bitch to put it in, I'll tell you. These people. No, this mic is terrible.
One of the worst Secretary of States in the history of the country. She talks about me being dangerous. She's killed hundreds of thousands of people with her stupidity. Just thirdly, he was so nice. He was such a nice guy. And he said, oh, I'm never going to attack. But then his poll numbers tanked. That's why he's on the end. And he got nasty.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
All right. And you call him a dummy. Is that appropriate in running for president? Okay, you got to let me speak, though, Frank, because you interrupt all the time, okay? So...
This is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is
real tough.
And he lunged that knife into the stomach of his friends, but lo and behold, it hit the belt.
It hit the belt, and the knife broke. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Trump. I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. And we don't need a weak person being president of the United States, okay? Because that's what we'd get if it were I'll tell you what, we don't need that. We don't need that. You know what she said? Shout it out, because I don't want to... Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's a pussy. That's terrible. Terrible.
A year ago, you told me on my radio show, the audio and the transcript are out there on YouTube, that you would release your tax returns. True. Are you going back on your
No, I'm not.
commitment?
First of all, very few people listen to your radio show. That's the good news. Let me just tell you. Which happens to be true. Check out the ratings. Here's a guy that buys a house for $179,000. He sells it to a lobbyist who's probably here for $380,000, and then legislation is passed. You tell me about this guy. This is what we're going to have as president. In fairness, Marco is not a negotiator. I watched him melt down, and I'll tell you, it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. He's not going down.
On that, that's a matter of principle, and I'll tell you. You are the single biggest liar.
You probably are worse than Jeb Bush. You are the single biggest liar.
All right.
This guy lied. Let me just tell you. This guy lied about Ben Carson when he took votes away from Ben Carson in Iowa. This guy will say anything. Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right, John, I get to respond.
Pick from the buffet there.
He's a nasty guy.
Immigration. You have been very critical of Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, who has wanted to increase the number of these H-1Bs.
I was not at all critical of him.
Where did I read this and come up with this that you were...
Probably, I don't know. You people write this stuff. I don't know.
By the way, Carson is super low. I don't understand the whole deal. I don't know what's going on. Carson is lower energy than Bush.
I look at Rubio. He's a lightweight. He's a lightweight. Everyone said, oh, Rubio, he's the next Reagan. He's no Reagan. That I can tell you. I mean, my hair is better than his hair. That I can tell you. And ISIS has it. And ISIS now is building a hotel in Iraq. They're competing with me. Do you believe it?
You keep saying that Hispanics love you.
True.
And yes, you won the Hispanic vote in Nevada.
True.
But wouldn't that make you an unelectable candidate in a general election?
First of all, I don't believe anything Telemundo says.
You used to say that you love.
Number one. Number two.
Oh, if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
The problem was it was to tear down. It was to
Jeb
tear
wants
down.
to be. He wants to be a tough guy. He wants to be a tough guy tonight.
It was to tear down.
Take 30 seconds.
Let me just. He wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times you'll have, and it doesn't work very well with.
How tough is it to take
times
property from an elderly woman?
Let me talk. Quiet.
How tough is it?
A lot of times. That's all of his donors and special interests out there. Because he has failed in this campaign. It's been a total disaster. Nobody cares. And frankly, I'm the most solid person up here.
Why didn't you read that? By the way, why didn't you read that before?
I pulled it up the Wi-Fi.
No, but why didn't you read that before? You didn't read. I hate the concept of.
I'm reading it to you. My question.
Excuse me.
Are you a trustworthy?
Excuse me. Very trustworthy. More so than you. Why didn't you read my quote the way I said it?
Sir, I tried to pull it up and I didn't have Wi-Fi.
Well, then you got to get Wi-Fi. Okay.
Well,
don't ask me questions like that. You're not a very good reporter doing that. Okay, go ahead.
I think Ben Carson's a very low energy person. Actually, I think Ben Carson is lower energy than Jeb, if you want to know the truth. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. You know what's happening to Jeb's crowd, as you know, right down the street? They're sleeping. They're sleeping now. Jeb Bush is a low energy person. For him to get things done is hard. Nobody. You might say, you might talk, your politicians all talk, no action. I've been watching it all my life. You are all talk and no action. What I've seen up here, I mean, first of all, this guy's a choke artist and this guy's a liar. You have a combination. This guy always goes. You have a poor Jeb Bush. I mean, this poor guy with this low energy. It's sad. No, it's sad. I came up with that term. It became so defining. It's like having it on his forehead. I am low. Jeb Bush. Yeah, Jeb. He's another beauty. Jeb Bush the other day said, Donald Trump, you know, he's trying to talk tough now because I said he's got no energy. I call him a low energy person, so now he wants to be a tough guy. It doesn't work, but I'm the tough guy.
He says you don't have steady hands.
I have the steadiest hands. Look at those hands. Look at those hands. Look at those hands. I have the steadiest hands and far steadier than hers. Look where she...
Why do you keep attacking Megyn Kelly of Fox?
Because every night on her show, she does negative hits on me. Every single night. And frankly, if she didn't, her ratings would drop down far lower than yours.
Former president Calderon said, Mexico will not pay for the wall. Could we have your comment? I said, yes. The wall just got 10 feet higher. It's true. It's true.
On the state,
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
That was my job, to get along with people.
But the
I
simple
didn't want
fact
to,
is...
excuse me, 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to...
Fact is, Donald, you cannot take...
More energy tonight. I like that.
I think you're on the wrong side of this if you're still arguing for a single-payer system.
I don't think you heard me. You're having a hard time tonight.
All right,
We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Yeah, Bush. Get out of here. Get out. Out, out, out. That was the meekest protester that I've ever seen. We said, get out of here, and he just, okay. And I gave him a lot of money. I raised a lot of money. I had 2 fundraisers in my apartment. In fact, one of them was such a rainy day that it ruined the carpets of my apartment. Everyone's coming in. I had hundreds of people. My carpets were ruined. I think I'm going to send him a bill for new carpet. President Obama, Secretary Kerry, I highly think you should read this book quickly. Quickly! Mexico is sending lots of people. And by the way, they're coming from all over the world, including the Middle East. Why not? Come in. Come on in. We're stupid. We'll take care of you. We'll pay. Get sick. We'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want? Let's say that Jeb Bush or Hillary or one of these politicians all talk, no action, all controlled by lobbyists and special interests and donors. When they say, Mr. President, it's very bad that Ford's building in Mexico. Oh, okay. We'll do something. Let me go to sleep first. We'll do something.
I want to...
Jeb will be very poor as a president. No energy.
Class act. Class act. No more class than that, that's for sure. How's that sandwich? You get that in Ohio? Yeah, all right.
And you know, the Kasich thing is interesting, because here's a guy that just says, I'm going to stay. And then you see him eating in the morning. You ever see? I have never seen. He's stuffing pancakes in his mouth like this. And I'm always telling my boy, take small bites, Barron, little tiny bites. And yesterday he said, Daddy, who is that guy on television? That's disgusting. You know, did you see him? He has a news conference all the time when he's eating. I have never seen a human being eat in such a disgusting fashion. I'm always telling my young son, Barron, I'm saying, and I always with my kids, all of them, I'd say, children, small little bites, small. This guy takes a pancake and he's shoving it in his mouth. It's disgusting. Do you want that for your president? I don't think so. Ever see it? He's eating today, stuffing it. I never saw bites this big. He's pushing it in with his, I never saw a guy eat like this. I told my son, he was watching, he said, Daddy, look. I said, don't watch. Little bites, little bites.
Lion tag, lion tag. One of the biggest liars I've ever seen in my life. But Ted Cruz, he walks in Bible high, puts it down and he starts lying. I'll tell you what. Every single ad is a negative ad, and most of them are false. There was a little truth to some of them, I'll be honest. Bad senator. She's done nothing. She's done nothing. She said she's the American. And I said, Pocahontas. It's Pocahontas. Somebody said to me in the media, Mr. Trump, would you apologize? I said, yes, I'll apologize. To Pocahontas, I will apologize. Because Pocahontas is insulted by the statement.
Do you regret calling her Pocahontas? Do you regret that?
I do regret calling her Pocahontas because I think it's a tremendous insult to Pocahontas.
Right.
So to Pocahontas, I would like to apologize to you.
All right, so I don't see a lot of reaching across the aisle, but who knows?
I was being hit by Pocahontas. That's Pocahontas. Pocahontas. That's this Elizabeth Warren. I call her Goofy. She is... No, Goofy.
Warren, she seems to have made it her job.
Who, Pocahontas? Pocahontas. Well, no, she's... Look, she is...
It's very offensive.
You tell me. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Pocahontas?
What about the negative side? He apologized for being a negative.
We're different people. I understand that. I'll give you an example. Hillary Clinton is a liar. Hillary Clinton, I was just proven last week.
That's
Hillary
negative.
Clinton, you better believe it. Hillary Clinton is a crook.
That's negative.
I call her Crooked Hillary. She's Crooked Hillary. He won't. I didn't ask him to do it, but I don't think he should do it because it's different for him.
Is it wise to be praising our adversaries and alienating our allies?
George, yeah, I know you're having a lot of fun this morning, and so am I, if you want to know the truth. The fact, those people don't turn them in. Why don't they turn them in?
Well, they should turn them in. I agree with you on that.
Well, they should turn
One
them in,
final
but they're not
question
going to
about
turn them in with attitudes like your attitude. People won't turn them in.
So Lindsey Graham says to me, please, whatever you can do. You know what I'm saying to myself, what's this guy, a beggar? He's like begging me to help him with Fox and Friends. So I say, okay, and I'll mention your name. He said, could you mention my name? I said, yes, I'll mention. And he gave me his number, and I found the card. I wrote the number down. I don't know if it's the right number. Let's try it. 202-228-0292. I don't know. Maybe it's, it's 3-4 years ago, so maybe it's an old number. 202-228-0292. So, I don't know. Give it a shot.
Donald Trump is a jerk.
Thank you.
I feel better now.
Look, his people gave him that quote. You could see he was just saying, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready now to say it. Jeb is a weak and ineffective person. He's also a low-energy person, which I've said before, but he's a weak and ineffective person. Jeb, if he were president, it would just be more of the same. It would be just, he's got money from all of the lobbyists and all of the special interests that run him like a puppet. He's got 2% in the polls. I have 41% in the latest poll. He has 2%. He's going to be off the stage soon. He's an embarrassment to the Bush family. And in fact, he doesn't even want to use the Bush name, which is interesting. Jeb is an embarrassment to himself and to his family.
I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. There's the New York Times right over there, and the Washington Post. They're working overtime. Hillary is so corrupt. She got kicked off the Watergate Commission. How corrupt do you have to be to get kicked off the Watergate Commission? Pretty corrupt. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. That's okay. I don't know who they're angry at, Hillary. You're right. For example, here she is tonight in public pretending not to hate Catholics. Look, now she's blaming, she got caught in a total lie. Her papers went out to all her friends at the banks, Goldman Sachs and everybody else, and she said things, WikiLeaks, that just came out, and she lied. Now she's blaming the lie on the late, great Abraham Lincoln. That's one that I haven't.
Okay, Honest Abe. Honest Abe never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you. That's a big, big difference. We're talking about some difference.
Perfectly nice. By the way, she fell off the stage the other day. Did anybody see that? And Cruz didn't do anything. Even I would have helped her, okay? No, it's true. It's the weirdest thing.
How do you see that?
Well, she has been taking a lot of heat for that statement, not from you, obviously, but, you know, they do call it the Clinton network. But she has taken from others a lot of heat.
Little Marco. Do you know that in Florida, they hate little Marco Rubio so much? It's true.
You know, he endorsed Lion Ted Cruz. Lion Ted. He's a liar. Ooh. Bible high, puts it down, and then he lies. You know, he's a liar. I never met a liar like him. I met a lot tougher people than him, but I never met a guy that lied as much.
My message to Donald Trump and his team is your views of Islam are ignorant.
All right. Well, when he won, I wished him well. Now, I don't care about him. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me about him. Let's see how he does. I mean, let's see if he's a good mayor.
Are you offended by what he said?
Yeah, I am, because he doesn't know me, never met me, doesn't know what I'm all about. I think they're very rude statements, and frankly, tell him I will remember those statements. They're very nasty statements.
Would you like David
When
Cameron,
it was brought up,
would you like him to withdraw the particular comments that you're stupid, divisive, and wrong with your view about Muslims?
Well, number one, I'm not stupid, okay? I can tell you that right now. Just the opposite. Number two, in terms of divisive, I don't think I'm a divisive person. I'm a unifier. Unlike our president now, I'm a unifier.
I love the media. They're so honest. They're such honorable people. It's about time I said that, right? Backed Mitt Romney. I backed him. You can see how loyal he is. He was begging for my endorsement. I could have said, Mitt, drop to your knees. He would have dropped to his knees. He was begging. Oh, here's another one. Go home to mom. Go home to mommy. And your mother is voting for Trump. She's voting for Trump. True. Oh, we have another one over here, another single. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Looks like a nice little guy, actually. Go home to mommy. Go home. Bye. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy. Tell her to tuck you in bed. He's such a nice guy. Here's a woman. She makes a speech for 15 minutes. She goes home, goes to bed. Honestly, she has less energy than Jeb Bush. I admit it. I admit it. And the reason I bring him up, he didn't sign the pledge, so he's open game. So he signed the pledge, right? But he didn't honor it. How do you live with yourself, you know? A guy, nobody ever heard of this guy. I shouldn't even do this because I built up his name, but he's a real lightweight. His name is Bill Kristol. From day one, this poor guy, I watch him, but here's what I don't understand. Why do you keep putting a guy on television that's been proven to be wrong for so many years? First one of the shows the other day, Bill Kristol, he's got some magazine, I don't even know what the hell it is, and he's saying, oh, we're looking for another candidate. We're looking. He's sweating. I was with Donald Trump in 1980. I was sitting with him on an airplane. And he went after me on the plane. Yeah, I'm going to go after. Believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you. You don't know. That would not be my first choice.
And, you know, I don't grab him on the, you know, as they say, on the arm. And once said he grabbed me on the arm. And she's a porn star. Now, you know, this one that came out recently, he grabbed me, and he grabbed me on the arm. Oh, I'm sure she's never been grabbed before.
Would you rather have negotiate with Iran, Trump or Jeb?
How about this? Trump or Hillary? Who is Uma married to? One of the great sleazebags of our time. Anthony Weiner. Did you know that? She's married to Anthony Weiner. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum. I love you very much. So, now think of it. So, Uma is getting classified secrets. She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he is. He is. Okay, who's next? Yeah, please. Excuse me, sit down. You weren't called. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Go ahead. No, you don't. You haven't been called. Go back to Univision.
When you look back over the sweep of this campaign, going back to last June, is there anything you regret?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to have done certain things over, but you can't. You can't. But that's true in life. I'd love to have done in life certain things over, I guess. And you would have too.
Give me one.
You would have loved not to have contributed to the Clinton Foundation, as an example.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
Snoop Dogg.
You know what happened with the D.R.E.
When she found out that there was a security camera and that they had her on tape, all of a sudden that story changed.
No,
she
that's
didn't
not true.
talk
She
about
says her story has remained exactly the same. She was
really?
knocked a little
Can
bit
I
off.
read this to you,
Yeah, that she was knocked off balance, but she remained standing.
Do you mind if I read you her statement? I mean, give me a break. You know, the problem is everybody dumps people when there's a sign of political incorrectness. I'm just going to read, if I can find it.
She said she was almost knocked off balance, but
she said she was almost knocked off balance, right? Here's what she said. You want to read it or you want me to do it? You're a professional announcer. Why don't you read it? The bottom part. The bottom. Now, that's an exact quote from her prior to seeing the cameras, and now she says, oh, I better change my story, I guess.
Again, you know, you probably won't put this part. I have great friendships with many people who are Muslim living in this building.
People who say you're taking time out of swing states to go do this, you say.
I say the following. You have been covering me for the last long time. I did yesterday 8 stops and 3 major speeches, and I've been doing this for weeks straight. I left there for an hour and a half. I'm going to North Carolina right now, then I'm going to Florida, I'm going up to New Hampshire. For you to ask me that question is actually very insulting, because Hillary Clinton does 1 stop and then she goes home and sleeps. And yet you'll ask me that question. I think it's a very rude question, to be honest with you.
15 days out from the election, you've been labeled a racist, you've been called a sexist. How do you respond to that?
I am the least racist person you've ever met.
I have the biggest bank in the world as a tenant of mine in New York. The biggest in the world, a Chinese bank. Don't worry about that, baby. I love babies. So, I love babies. I hear that baby crying. I like it. What a baby. What a beautiful baby. Don't worry. Don't worry. The mom's running around like, don't worry about it, you know. It's young and beautiful and healthy, and that's what we want. Okay. But look. We have the piggy bank. They have ripped us to shreds. Ripped us absolutely to shreds. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. That's all right. Don't worry. I think she really believed me that I love having a baby crying while I'm speaking. That's okay. People don't understand. That's okay.
Raised $6 million. Clearly you had not. Your critics say you tend to exaggerate, you have a problem with the truth. Is this a prime example?
I'm not looking for credit. But what I don't want is when I raise millions of dollars, have people say, like this sleazy guy right over here from ABC. He's a sleaze in my book. You're a sleaze because you know the facts, and you know the facts well.
The FBI conducted a year-long investigation into my emails. They concluded there was no case. He said the FBI was rigged. He lost the Iowa caucus. He lost the Wisconsin primary. He said the Republican primary was rigged against him. Then Trump University gets sued for fraud and racketeering. He claims the court system and the federal judge is rigged against him. There was even a time when he didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged again.
Should have gotten it.
This is a mindset.
She's going to move to candidate Donald Trump if you get elected. What's your message to her?
Well, she's a B actor, and has no mojo. No, I heard Whoopi Goldberg said that too. That would be a great thing for our country. If
we have a list of people: Rosie O'Donnell,
We'll
Al
get rid of
Sharpton.
Rosie. Oh, I love it.
Jon
Well, now
Stewart,
I have to get elected.
Whoopi.
Now I have to get elected because I'll be doing a great service to our country. I have to. Now it's much more important. In fact, I'll immediately get off this call and start campaigning right now.
When you can't, oh, that's all right. Let him be very weak. He's got a very weak voice. Very weak voice. Very weak. You know, it's funny. Let me see. Who is that person? Let me see. Raise your hand. Who are you? Are you an agitator? Let me see. Who is it? Who is it? Are you the one? Your voice is very weak. No, he's so weak. Look, he's leaving now. Who is he? Bye. He's going home to mommy.
You keep your manufacturing here, your ties, your suits. Why would you not have them made here?
Because China so manipulates their currency that it's very hard to find companies that can do business in the United States.
You're a billionaire, though. Why would you not move it here just for having it in America?
Excuse me, because I'm a businessman. Let me just tell you something, and it's very interesting. You're not bringing up anything new. You know, you're acting like you're the great reporter, blah, blah, blah. You're not bringing up...
Research says the crime does not match what you're saying. The research, the Pew Research, which is independent, says...
Don't be naive. You're a very naive person.
The Pew Research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. I thought when O'Malley made the statement that Black Lives Matter, he said white lives matter, all lives matter, and then he apologized like a little baby, like a disgusting little weak, pathetic baby. And I'll tell you what, I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm going to say it, and I hate to say it, but if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception.
Awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
I am not in the habit of supporting people who attack my wife and attack my father.
Hi, this is Ted Cruz calling.
And why did it morph into that? No, did you? No, answer the question.
Why
do
don't
you still believe?
You
I
interrupt
do.
me all the time. Why don't you
Would
interrupt
you
her?
please? Very much. We're going to move on.
Funny, she went over a minute over, and you don't stop her. When I go 1 second over, it's like
you
a
had
big deal.
many answers.
Really.
By the way, tonight when you go home and watch this on television, the only people you're going to see. Now, do we have... could somebody act out being a protester so the cameras all move on? There's a protester. There's a protester. The only time they move those cameras. Oh, look, there's a protester. Look. There's another protester. These people are the worst.
Joining me now on the telephone, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, thanks for joining me.
I was just wondering if you have anything positive to say. Beautiful introduction, all negative, but that's okay. Go ahead.
If it comes to light that something did happen, are you going to do something about it? Will there be some sort of punishment?
Supposing it comes to light that nothing happened, are you going to apologize to him for what you're doing?
I'm not reporting anything that I saw personally. I'm reporting what Michelle Fields is reporting.
Will you apologize to him if it turns out that nothing happened?
I won't apologize, but I'll report that nothing happened, certainly.
Mr. Trump, what do you...
Hey, you know what gives me more pause? That a person in our government, crooked Hillary Clinton, here's what gives me more, be quiet, I know you want to, save her, that a person in our government, Katie, would delete or get rid of 33,000 emails.
What's your name?
name.
Now, he's supposed to look like Donald Trump, but he's actually much too good looking. You are really handsome. Go back. Do you want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Trump.
One of the columnists, Rich Lowry, says that you are the most fabulous whiner in the world, and that you have shown that if you were to sit across from a Putin or from Mexico or from the Middle East leaders, that as soon as they said something you don't like, you'd become a whiner, you'd become snipey with them, and that you wouldn't get anything done. What do you say to that?
Well, I think he's probably right. I am the most fabulous whiner. I do whine because I want to win. And I'm not happy about
whiners
not winning.
Winners?
And I am a whiner, and I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining until I win. And I'm going to win for the country, and I'm going to make our country great again.